It's very difficult when you're reading Starmer-related headlines not to put on Starmer's voice by accident, but I'm going to try. Starmer ditches plan to end Britain's sick note culture. There we are. Now, that was only a few weeks ago that we were going to end our sick note culture. What's happened here, Christian?
So they've ditched Conservative plans that would have added a number of changes to the current process for getting signed off sick, including things like it not being the duty of one GP. It would be a sort of specially appointed arbiter, because the Conservatives basically thought that GPs were too almost friendly with their patients and they were being a bit too lenient. And we do have a real problem in this country with a lot of people being signed off sick, probably when they don't need to be. And we've got this soaring personal independent payments bill, PIP. But actually, I'm really surprised that they've done this, because I think the current sort of PIP bill is about 12 billion. The government need to find huge savings, and we'll come when Rachel Reeves needs to either find massive cuts or tax rises, and this would be an obvious place to start. So I'm surprised that they're not just continuing with Tory policy, but they've ditched it.
The figures are incredible, right? So the number of sick notes, which have now been called fit notes, and that'll trigger me as well. They've more than doubled from 5 million in 2015 to 11 million in 2022. Now, some of those people will have, serious flu and everything else, so they may be passing through. But the number of people who are basically so sick they're never going to work again, but they're not at retirement age, 2.8 million, Helen.
It is huge, but I think we've got to remember the COVID and how that affected people, the huge mental health crisis that we've got in the country. Maybe there needs to be more focus on supporting people back to work.
Hence the name Fit Notes, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, and when we're looking at the previous, suggestions that other people other than GPs should make the decision, well, I'm not qualified to make a decision on whether somebody's able to work. Maybe there's
but why
definitely some difficulties there.
If the GP knows the patient, they can't make the decision, because they may play golf with them or something. They may see them down the high street. They can't be the guy who stopped them getting sickness benefit. But
there are very few surgeries that only have one GP. Why can't it be a GP from the same surgery?
Good point. Or they bring in these so-called consultants who are not doctors. We know what they're going to be like. It's going to be like
expensive. The consultants are going to cost a fortune.
We've got to end the system where you can just go to your GP, say I'm anxious, and then get signed off onto welfare for as long as you like. I mean, that system can't continue.
Okay, today.